You're central bank and finance ministry types, I know. How many of you think we're going to see parity, euro dollar, this year? Just a show of hands. I'm curious. That's not many. Gosh. Okay. All right. Second question before we move on. TPP, and we were talking about this earlier on. I think we stopped counting after, what, the 20th round or something like this. How many of you out there think we're going to get TPP done this year, 2015? Show of hands. Okay. All right. I think that says something. Oh, thank you. One gentleman in the corner. We'd like to talk to you a little bit later. Anyway, okay. Chin, last up. For the negative, regional integration, global integration, is there a conflict? No, there's no conflict. Why?
Well, thanks very much for having me, and thank you, David, and Bang Nagara and Governor Zeti. I teach law these days, so I'm not used to speaking to people who disagree with me. I will try, though. I will try. But imagine this. You have a Singapore-United States free trade agreement, so General Motors can set up in Singapore, and it can inject capital into Chennai in India, which it can do if you have a Mauritius-type double taxation agreement. And you have that plant in Chennai make car parts, but it doesn't make all the parts of the car. It doesn't make the whole car. Some of the parts will be made in the Detroit of Asia. It'll be made in Thailand, and you have a Thai-India free trade agreement which allows you to do that. But there's not enough work being done on the Thai side. Thankfully, the FTA rules say that R&D work in Malaysia can be counted towards the manufacturing of those Thai parts. And so you're fine. The Thai parts get sent back to India, put into the rest of the car. The car gets made in India, and because there's an India-Japan free trade agreement, the whole car gets shipped to Japan. You can't do that if you don't have free trade agreements. It's not about whether you like it or don't. FTAs are not merely complementary, they're necessary. We haven't had trade talks move since 2001. We haven't closed a trade round since 1994. I'm a lawyer, so I can't count. I can't count how many years that is. But we can't sit and wait for growth. We can't stick our heads in the sand. We haven't stuck our heads in the sand. We lifted our heads, and what do we see? We see 400 free trade agreements, 13 agreements on average per WTO member. And some people say, look at that proliferation. It is the epitome of evil. I think it's quite futile to say that, in fact, because there are so many free trade agreements,